Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Actually Comics for September 13th, 2023. My name is Tristan, and I'm joined, as ever, by Bob. Say hello, Bob.
Hi, hello, Bob.
Ah, there we go. That is a classic
Gracie old.
and Alan joke that we that is again for the kids, just like a lot of the
whole
dialogue
for the
today.
kids.
We've been really like pulling on references that the kids like all day.
Beach Boys. What else did we? Yeah.
There was something so ridiculously dated that was like a 40s reference that no one was going to get.
It might have been. Oh yeah, no, I don't know what that was.
I don't even
anymore.
remember anymore.
It's all lost in the sands of time.
Exactly. Like grains through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
All the kids.
We're going to do this quickly because these cameras are going to run out of juice soon because I didn't charge them because my life has been a whirlwind of chaos. But
Seems
anyway,
to be the theme of the day.
Yeah, chaos and whirlwinds and all that. So let's talk the alternates from the world of Minor Threats. Not Minor Threat, the Ian MacKaye band, but Minor Threats, the Patton Oswalt and Friends jam comic.
Did you read it?
I did not.
You should.
I didn't read the original one, so
I didn't either.
Okay.
And I read this one. It's like basically like I couldn't tell you anything about how it fits into the grand scheme of things, but there's a character in it that I think you personally would very much like. It's a character whose limbs at one at a time turn into the actor. It's basically Hallows' Eve, but just like one limb at a time. So she'll get like the arm of Dracula. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Behold, the arm of Dracula.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to it than that, but it was pretty funny.
But you know what's great?
What?
This little comic. I love all of these so far. They've done a bunch of them that are these little silent comic books from Marvel with their little animal friends. Mm-hmm. This one, of course, being Alligator Loki. What a delight! He's an alligator,
cute.
And he's a Loki, and it's cute. I like it. Yeah. I enjoyed this one.
Kind of like It's Jeff.
It's very much like It's Jeff. They did another one as well. They did a Spider-Man series as well, like one of the. Was it Double Trouble? No, it wasn't Double Trouble. It was the other one. It's good.
I do not know.
This one has bots that are from space. We call them astrobots.
Ah, yes.
Not to be confused with the transducers or transmorphers or
transcructicons.
Yes. These things are, again, this is massive, releasing a continuation of the old Transformer guys series with knockoff Transformer characters. That's an unkind way to say it, but I don't really know what else to say about it. I mean, they are knockoff Transformers.
I think what happened is that the other guys got the license to Transformers, and then the guy was like, but I still have all these Transformers stories to tell, and they were like, well, how about you do it this way?
How about you tell it as Astrobot stories? And he said, that seems like it'll hit exactly the same audience. Mm-hmm. And they said, yeah, sure.
I mean, if people know it, if they know the person who wrote it, then they probably are following it.
I'm going to say that it is vastly more popular than I expected it to be.
Cool.
Like, I did not think this was going to hit any audience whatsoever, but it did seem to...
People love a transformable robot.
I mean, as do I.
Yeah.
I was totally apeshit for these weird little... they made Dungeons and Dragons figures that were literally... They transformed into 20-sided dice. Period. That's it. They don't transform. They're like, it's a dragon, it's an owl bear, it's blah blah blah, and they just transform into dice. And I was like, I'm all in. I bought cases and cases of these fucking things for the store.
Oh, so it's like a new product.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
You have them in the store now?
Too. They're ridiculous.
Nice.
Anyway, Avengers Incorporated.
Loved it.
Fucking loved it.
Loved it. It's the Avengers comic for me.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I would be into a ton more Avengers stories that involved
bring it back to Earth.
out of costume stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, that joke was so good when they told the Wasp that she couldn't wear a costume, and Jarvis was like, "Drop the cup." He's just like, "Oh my god, the Wasp not wearing a costume." Yeah, it was so good. I loved it. It was really just knocked it out of the park. It's exactly what I want in an Avengers book. It's even though it basically is a Wasp solo story.
I mean, I think it's a Wasp solo story that is going to
Yes, it will expand.
become whoever this character is.
Yeah.
That is currently a mystery.
Yeah, I think that if you use Google, you might be able to figure out who it is because his name is used in the comic.
Is that true?
It seemed familiar to me, and I think I might know who it is, but I'm not 100% sure because I didn't Google it.
I think that's the person whose corpse he's inhabiting.
No. The name
I think
of the
you're thinking
person
of
in
Whirlwind.
the. I'm not thinking of
no.
Whirlwind. I'm
Okay,
thinking
so
of the
no.
name of the person who's in the body of Whirlwind.
Okay. All right.
Which gives away a little bit, but not a ton of the comic, which we should probably not talk about too
Fair
much.
enough. And it's also,
I mean,
there's
it's very-
a picture of him on the cover, so you assume he's Vision.
Yeah, he looks like Vision.
He looks like Vision,
He's
and he
not.
also looks like Sinister. He
Yeah.
looks like
I was like hoping it wasn't Sinister. I was
Yes.
so glad that it wasn't.
So glad
him.
it's not Sinister.
Because
that
like,
would
I
be...
just need that. I need the X-Men and the Avengers to be separate for a little while.
Yes. Agreed.
Anyway,
Here's a new one that the kids are going to be all into. It's a guy with the powers of a bat. Look at that shit. Fucking Batman, dude.
is it the facsimile of
It is
Batman?
the facsimile of Batman #1. Which,
Quality comic book.
you know, I've heard that people are into this comic book and this character, and they pay money for this particular issue in its original printing.
Yeah, it's got all the ads and all the dumb stuff that's in around it, but it's also like 4 just classic early Batman stories. And we were talking about it's a bold move in 1939 or 40 or whatever issue it came out, whatever year it came out, 40 I guess, to have the first appearance of and the second appearance of the Joker within one comic book.
That is amazing.
Also Catwoman's first appearance and also the Monster Men's first appearance.
That's so weird.
It's so cool. It's great.
It's so weird.
Jam-packed.
Yeah, it is absolutely jam-packed. I mean, the Monster Men, everyone's favorite characters.
I love the Monster Men. That's a great story. That's back when Batman had a gun and killed people.
True. This is when Batman does not have a gun and kills people. This is Batman and Robin.
I
#1.
liked it better than I expected I was going to.
I think I can say the same thing.
Yeah, I the dynamic works in a way that I didn't expect it to, and I think the coloring could be a little bit clearer, but with that kind of art style, it was sometimes hard to kind of follow it page to page, but otherwise, not bad.
I'm just gonna say that I absolutely despise these covers. I think that's gonna be my last statement about this. Is just gonna be, it reminds me of when Ultimate Spider-Man came out and they had those garbage computer covers, and it was like, this is the best fucking Spider-Man story you've written in forever, and you put this trash on the cover.
Yeah.
It will be forever remembered as the worst covers of all time.
Yeah.
And they kept the bars on the side, and just everything about it was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I like the art. I think the coloring is a little bit too digital shine for me.
Yeah.
And it makes the artwork. I bet like if you saw like a black and white edition of this comic, it would be easier to follow.
Sure. How about Batman Incorporated, a comic I'm not reading?
Yeah, it's the final issue. So if you're reading it, it's the wrap up. Unfortunately for me, it's like it finally got to where I wanted it to be, which is that stupid guy Ghostmaker quits, and then they actually become a team of international Batmen, and that's exactly what I wanted the whole time. It wasn't bad. The second arc was a little bit better than the first. But yeah, it's over, so who cares?
Fair enough. Every time I hear the name Ghostmaker, I think of the song Matchmaker from Fiddler on the Roof, and I can't get it out of my head, so Ghostmaker, make me a ghost. How about Batman Scooby-Doo?
Oh, this is one with Batman Beyond?
Batman Beyond and the Royal Flush Gang.
Yeah.
The Neo Royal Flush Gang or whatever. Actually,
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, my back hurts really bad. I'm sorry to make my chair creak so much.
I'm creaking right along with you. My chair sucks, and I keep meaning to replace it. And it's been years, and I keep saying I'm going to get a new chair, and I just keep making terrible chair noises over the podcasts. And I'm like, why didn't I just buy a fucking chair so that it would stop squeaking? I'm going to go back and listen to some of the old podcasts and go, oh yeah, right. I really should have fixed that fucking chair.
Yeah, honestly, I never listen to them, so I don't listen to my radio shows or my podcasts.
Let's see. I have listened back when I thought that I said something stupid and thought, oh, maybe I should delete this.
Oh.
But luckily, I don't think I've said anything stupid enough to ruin my life.
That time you went on the racist tirade,
Yes.
maybe is the one I would read.
Against Batman.
Yes.
The
race of Batman.
The race of Batman. What about Bloodborne? The Bleak Domination Dominion? Dominion, sorry. It's a comic book about being born of blood. You're looking at it like you don't know what it is.
I don't remember seeing it.
Perfect.
I might even have read it.
It's about a video game that is called something.
Did I skip it? Maybe I skipped it.
Sure, why not? What about Captain Marvel Dark Tempest?
This isn't moving me.
Not very good. You know what is very good?
What?
Children of the Vault.
Yeah, it's all right.
Children of the Vault. What music they make?
Yeah. No, I don't hate this comic book.
What about this book? I only got it.
It did not move me.
You know what's really annoying about this book?
That it's on shiny, crappy paper.
Nope. The thing that's annoying about this book is that I basically bought this because I was under the opinion that my old pal Hugo Petrus from my book Self-Made Man was on this book, and he is not on this book.
Oh, no.
When I bought it, when I got the solicit for it, Hugo Petrus was on it.
Oh.
And I think he did like a cover, and I think that they just put him down as an artist, as though he was like actually on it.
The art is the best part of the comic.
Yeah. I mean, there you go.
I flipped through it.
I'm not into it.
I'm not either.
What about Coda? I'm not into this book either.
I read Coda. I love the artwork.
I love Simon Spurrier
the
so
artwork,
much.
and it's Simon Spurrier writing it. This did not grab me. I realized that even though I bought the first series, I couldn't remember what happened in it, and I was like, does that mean that I probably shouldn't follow it? But
Sure
it's
does.
very cool artwork, very cool, very Moebius.
Yeah,
like,
it's just not my jam. Is the only thing. It's not that I think it's bad. It's just that
I just don't.
It's this kind of hard sci-fi kind of stuff that just doesn't grab me.
Well,
like,
and also
or fantasy sci-fi,
exactly,
or whatever you want to call it.
And everything that is not like, it's easier with Marvel and DC because you have a leg up when you don't have to worry about an entire new world or whatever. But some of these things where it's like the world is so expansive, it's just like it's hard. And there's other indie books that I'm just following a little bit more. I often will be happy I did take a chance on them, and I did. Like I said, the art is candy on this book. It's really one of the best looking books on the stand.
Oh my God. So I didn't even notice that Creepshow came out this week.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not paying attention to anything, so I didn't read it, and I just saw that fucking Garth Ennis
and Becky
Cloonan writing a weird abortion story.
Yeah, it's a weird abortion one.
And Phil Hester.
And Phil Hester.
God.
The Phil Hester one is cool. It's
Holy crap.
It's
this is
a cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a Creepshow. I think it's just like a special one shot, or is it a volume 2?
This is volume 2.
Oh, nice.
This is volume 2,
New
number
series.
1. So I'm very excited. I will read this after the podcast. If you want Creepshow, you fucking you're gonna buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Cull. Another book I didn't read
The
that
Cull.
I loved the first one of.
Yeah. The Cull is great.
Okay,
the Cull is a new expansive world book that I am all in on. And it's weird because the art is like so different than anything I usually go for, but I dig it. I think it's a great book. I think it's just Kelly Thompson is buy on site for me. So even if the art was like mediocre, I'd still probably be reading it.
Fair enough. Speaking of Simon Spurrier, Damn Them All. I'm not really a fan of this book either.
I don't know what's happening in it and usually skip it.
It has lost me. What about the Dingbats of Danger Street? In Danger Street, the Dingbat.
It's just so wildly inconsistent from issue to issue. Like I hated it at first, then I really liked it for like 3 issues, and now I'm just kind of like, this is so boring. So I think Danger Street is a trade weight.
Okay, fair. Daredevil.
Did you read it?
I did.
Okay.
This is an interesting one for me.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
See, I did.
I liked aspects of it. I thought the art was very cool. I love that demon.
Interesting.
The demon thing was very cool.
Hated the art when I first started.
Oh, interesting.
When I first started the book, I was like, this art is not for me. And I gave it a full, my 100% attention, read it cover to cover, and fucking loved it. I really, really enjoyed it, even though... So, I mean, it's not a spoiler if you read the last series that he is now a priest.
Correct. He went to hell. He died to go to hell, and
Yep.
then he was reborn as a priest in the same town and looks the same.
Yes, and has only fleeting memories of his past life.
Correct.
An interesting way to set a new status quo. It allows for a lot more stories that, they're not going to cover a lot of, that you can cover the same ground in a different way because now he doesn't have memory of those events.
Right.
I think that's interesting. I think that's a good way to handle a character like Daredevil. It is confusing in a couple of ways. The heaven and hell stuff has always not been I haven't been a huge fan of like Christian mythology stuff. But it is what it is. I mean, that has always been a core conceit of the Daredevil series, is that he is a Catholic and that is his that is his deal. And the only thing in this that confuses me like just the slightest bit, there was just one part where he gets very Daredevil-y, where you're like, okay, he's trying to explain like, hey, I've changed and now I'm this person, and I'm a Catholic and I'm a priest and I don't want to do violence and I want to honor God and all this stuff. The first second that somebody shows up and they're like, hey, come, there's a lady staying here, and he's like, I know exactly what's going on this whole time. I can see everything 17 moves ahead. So I break all of their bones.
Yeah.
It was like, you could also choke them out. You could also put them down. You could hold them. You are 10 times above all of these people. You are literally someone who has fought intergalactic level supervillains and survived. Maybe you don't need to break the arms and legs of the street thugs that you're fighting if you're going to go down the road of peace, which is always one of the problems with Daredevil.
Well, it was too metaphysical for me. I just like Daredevil is a guy who, to me, like, it's interesting when he does things that are metaphysical only in the context of him normally doing regular physical stuff. And I feel the same way about police cars, and I feel the same way about Spider-Man. And I feel like that's like Spider-Man has kind of gotten back to that street levelness in his regular book. But to do new Daredevil #1 and the first thing is just him fighting a demon, I'm just kind of like, it just doesn't work for me. Like Daredevil, but Daredevil is also like not a favorite character of mine. Like,
he is one of my favorite characters, and
like you like Daredevil.
I like Daredevil, and the other thing about Daredevil is that Daredevil has like different types of fans, and there are a lot of fans that agree with you that are on that side that he and the Punisher should be doing the same kind of job. Yeah. Where they're like,
neither one of them is.
Where they're like talking to gangsters. This is like beating up gangsters. That's your deal. You like somebody's robbing a bank, beat the shit out of them. And then, it escalates slightly higher than that. You get your Tombstones and your Blockbusters. No, that's another guy. Actually, there's a Blockbuster in Marvel as well. Anyway, but you get all of those kind of characters. I liked Shadowlands. I liked that was the one where he became the head of the Hand, and he was possessed by the Beast, and there's all that stuff that later came into the Punisher series that was so half hated and half loved by people. I liked that story. I like the weird ninja shit. I can't help it. Like I do enjoy him when he's doing the crazy spiritual ninja stuff, even though that's such a dated 80s thing that doesn't really work anymore.
For me, because the Punisher is such a murderer, is just like that's his superpower, is just being extra good at murder. Yes. Like I prefer the Punisher when he goes like Frankencastle, or when he like even when he was like became a Punisher for Heaven
Angels,
or whatever.
Yeah, I like that
anything that takes him outside of just killing drug dealers to stop drugs, like the stupidest. Like
I mean, Garth Ennis fixed that. I mean, so that he was, but I mean, he continued to murder people.
But that's the thing. It's just murder, and it, like, for me, that's not like that's. I guess I just like I grew up as too much of a DC person that just like was like heroes don't kill, and that's just like a thing that's kind of in me.
Have you read DC Comics lately?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about when I grew up in the pre-crisis '80s.
Yes.
But and even into the '90s, I think. But anyway, whatever. It's not about anything. It's
Didn't
just
you
like
see Green Arrow crying for justice. Don't you remember when he cried for justice and the way that he did so? That was
shot
them.
a guy in the head with an arrow. Yeah, I mean, Green Arrow was like that was the big thing that they did with him, was that they made him kill people with arrows.
Yes.
He stopped using trick arrows and he started killing people, and that was when Green Arrow became good again.
I mean,
in the '90s.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like that series. I can't help it. It is.
A lot of people do.
It's very interesting. Going back to it, I had forgotten. I actually went back and read some of those issues because I was listing some of them on the website, and so I couldn't help it. I actually stopped and read a few issues. So much more nudity than I remembered. I was like, when did DC have boobs? I mean, the answer is right there.
That was because it was a new format. So it was only available in comic book stores, and it had a suggestive for mature readers on it. And so only mature readers can see boobs.
Oh, interesting. And babies. I mean, babies see them a lot.
Yes.
It does tend to be.
This comic is only for adults and babies.
And babies. Baby murderers. Murderous babies.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
Dark Ride. This is a fun series. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't follow it. It's not really my thing.
What it's about. I'm sorry.
It's about a dark ride.
It's about a dark ride.
All right. So this is about a negaduck.
Yep. The opposite
of a posiduck.
Of a darkwing duck.
Posiduck and a negaduck get together and make a mulliduck. Fence redemption. These are people who go around and redeem people's fences for prizes.
Cool.
These are
beans.
gargoyles. That is a Xanatos in his little flying suit. We have Ghost Ritter.
This is the one I forgot to read.
I did too. But
Sorry.
I really love this cover, but I did not read this series.
There's some ghosting and some ridering.
I kind of lost it somewhere around here.
Well, everybody kind of came back into it from this big crossover with Wolverine.
That Wolverine crossover was so fun.
But somehow I just like completely missed it on the shelf that it was even there.
Interesting. Well,
because it was next to Gargoyles.
Yes. God, I'm going to keep fucking creaking. There's no way to stop it.
I think that was me.
No, that's me. Definitely me. We got Green Lantern. He's going to make that Sinestro feller pay.
Yeah.
He's going to pay.
It's weird because I really liked this writer's Flash, and I'm not so wild about his Green Lantern, but I'll give it another issue or
Why
two.
does Sinestro have a gun?
Because he's stranded on Earth and powerless.
Oh, okay. Nice. And Hal Jordan's taking advantage of that to kick the crap out of him.
Hal Jordan can make things not just... He can make his green constructs not green. He can be full-color constructs now.
What?
Yeah, it's in this comic.
Way to go.
He makes an antelope. And then a tiger, and then a lion tries to kill it, and he makes it huge, and it scares the lion away.
Well, that's weird. Okay. I kind of like that. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I don't hate it, and I don't hate the art. It's just
no
like,
Guy Gardner
it's
Warrior.
Just nothing is really happening, and with a 2-month gap between two issues, like it's just kind of like, okay, like something needs to have happened, and for him to just have a fight with Sinestro, if that's all that it's going to be, it's not going to keep me for too much longer. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Teva.
This is interesting. You're not wrong about this one. So this is one that I was a little like, this is a weird thing to do, but Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. I was like,
other than the
weird?
the excessive, I don't know, say excessive, other than the regular
Flagrant.
use of the N-word uncensored, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought the art was good. It's well told. It's well edited. It's on all cylinders for a book that's about Harriet Tubman fighting vampires.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, you know, if you're gonna have Abraham Lincoln fight vampires, why not have Harriet Tubman fight demons?
Well, and by demons, it's just vampires.
Yeah.
Just
Because
spoiler.
you can't have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer and Harriet Tubman Vampire Slayer. So
Correct.
that is, I believe, why that is what this is called. We have House of Slafter. Who loves that? You do. You do.
I'm yawning.
Oh, wow. You're that excited about it.
No,
You know what I'm excited about?
What?
Holy shit. I'm excited about Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, I
That
really like this
man
one.
thing.
I was worried that there was a fill-in artist, but because I suppose didn't the last one come out like last week?
It was not that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's cool and it's Man Thing, and there was a really cool little twist with the Man Thing. I dug, and the Hulk, and I dug it. I like it.
I love this cover. Love it so
Which
much.
cover is it?
It's just the regular main
cover. Yeah.
Um,
No, it's good. I
We
like this
got-
Hulk series.
we got this I Hate Fairyland, or Fuck Fairyland if you prefer. We also have this. That's right. It's Sophia from the Golden Girls in Kill More. How much more does she kill?
She's actually only on the
fuck ton
first
more.
couple pages, and she runs someone over with a car and then leaves him bleeding, guts hanging out in the streets.
Does she kill more?
No, but someone else kills more. I don't really. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. I tolerated reading it, but I read a fair amount of it until I got like halfway through the issue, and I still didn't understand what was happening. And I was like, okay, like you had a half issue to get me, and it didn't work. But
So
the
this-
dialogue was pretty well written, I would say.
This is not about Kurt Vonnegut's alias Kilmore Trout.
It is not. It is about some kind of possible alternate world where murders happen a lot more.
Don't at me. I know that it's Kilgore Trout. Anyway, yeah. Anyhow, Astonishing Iceman.
Yep,
It astonishes you.
it does. Astonishes me.
You know what else happens?
What?
Looney Tunes.
Back in action?
No, unfortunately, it is not that wonderful film that has been all but forgotten, even though it's probably the least beloved of his films. That's the Gremlins director.
Oh.
It's Joe Dante.
Nice.
He did Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh man, I watched the not that it's Joe Dante, but I watched The Stuff this week.
One of my
That
favorite
movie
movies of
is
all time.
So good.
It is so good.
Absolutely so good. Allie let me pick, or forced me to pick, and I was like, all right, we're watching The Stuff.
I need to see a movie that has Chocolate Chip Charlie in it. Now, which one of Chocolate Chip Charlie's many films am I going to sample from? And you said The Stuff. That's
Yeah,
gonna
it
be the
was
one.
the best Chocolate Chip Charlie, Mo Rutherford starring vehicle.
You know,
My friend Dan Clark
whenever
said that.
anybody offers him money, he just wants Mo.
That's right. He just wants Mo. My friend Dan Clark, who you probably know,
Yes.
said when I posted something about this stuff on Facebook, he said that Mo Rutherford was like right up there with Ash, with as like his favorite all time movie heroes, and I could see why.
Oh, Michael Moriarty, fucking A,
Yeah.
man. That dude, put him in anything. He is so good. He's like, he was in the last of the It's Alive movies. the
Yeah,
movie-
which is by the same guy as
He's in.
and he's also in Q, the Winged
Yeah,
Serpent.
he's literally in half of those movies, that, oh my God.
Larry something.
Yeah, yes.
Cohen?
Larry Cohen, thank you. He's in half of those movies, and he's fucking amazing in all of them.
Yeah.
But, like, he was in Island of the Alive, and that movie has, like, garbage pail kids looking alive babies that are the size of human beings or bigger than human beings. So they look like big mascot costumes running around.
Nice.
And he gives such a great performance in that movie. It proves that he can do anything, because he made that movie that was so fucking stupid into something just magical.
Nice.
And-
Yeah, Q,
and
the
The
Winged
Stuff?
Serpent is next up on
Perfect.
my thing, but The Stuff was just totally watch it. Just watch it. It's so good.
Enough is never enough.
It's never enough. Allie was like, how much would it cost to make a neon sign of The Stuff so that we could put it behind our television?
Oh my God.
Like that's the sign from that, like it's,
I mean, the answer is like $2,000.
is it really?
Yeah, unfortunately, someone who lives in my building is a neon artist, and I think he made Arcadia's Live Nerds.
Oh, nice.
That sign. But yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I asked him because I was curious. Like before COVID, I was like, oh, we should really do a thing for the pinball because we got 15 pinball machines. Smash cut to wah wah. Sold fucking 12 of them to stay afloat. But yeah, there you go. That's how it goes in the land of
keeping stores
contagious
open.
disease. Anyway, Red Goblin.
I don't understand. This is an ongoing series?
Evidently.
How is this popular enough for it to be? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
It is a comic book about the Green Goblin's grandson becoming a blood venom, right?
Give or take, yeah.
So it's like an 8-year-old kid who becomes a weird murderer.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand.
I don't understand why you wouldn't think that would be more popular.
I mean,
I don't think I realized that this was a Miles Morales comic.
He's in it.
That's how little I've been following this series.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one that's just flies over my head in terms of trying to figure it out.
What about something epic?
It's another one I don't. I tried to read one of them.
I liked it. I actually like this.
Yeah,
series.
you like it. I didn't.
This is a trade for me. I'm not going to follow it week to week. It's too confusing and big. It's one of those series that I'm just like, I'm not going to really enjoy this as much as I will when it's a trade.
There you go.
And the same thing for Sonic the Hedgehog, his 900th adventure.
It's the first one I ever read.
And it's the one where he dies.
Epic.
It's Crisis on Infinite Hedgehog. It's a comic about a fucking video game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
There are lots of people who like it, and I'm sure some of them are not furries, and that's fine. You can be a furry. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's great. I wish I enjoyed anything as much as furries enjoy being furries, so I think I'm just jealous.
Sure.
Spine-tingling Spider-Man.
Very much shades of Hooky. Remember Hooky?
You and I are simpatico on this one. Shades of Hooky, and there was another one as well. There was another one of those graphic novels that's very similar.
Yeah.
But also, it's almost as though...
The Charles Vess one, maybe.
Yeah, the Charles Vess one. That's what
I can't remember what it's called.
The Hooky was the Bernie Wrightson one, and
the
Charles Vess one I can't remember the name of. It's like a combination of those two. But somehow, I feel like what happened was... Marvel got wind of DC's doing this giant crossover called Night Terrors. It's everybody has their worst nightmare. Quick, do a Spider-Man of that.
Yeah.
It's like, that's basically what it is. It's like Spider-Man Night Terrors.
Yeah.
Which is actually very fun. And if you get to the end, you get to find the horrible haunting song, and you can download it with your QR code and listen to this terrible song that was haunting Peter Parker.
Oh man, I didn't catch that. I wish I had downloaded that cool song.
Yeah, I would pay $1 million to find out that it's just a Rickroll. That would be so great. Or what's the guy that's doing... There's that guy standing on the beach doing Humping Around without the lyrics. I
don't know that.
I was just listening to a podcast this morning where they were referencing it. I was like, it's now in my head.
I see.
All right.
Man, my back is hurting me. I apologize
for
my
I apologize
shiftiness.
for giving you the torture chair.
It's not helping. Also, the chair I sit in 8 hours a day is not helping. Even though I've been getting up to take regular breaks to walk.
I'm getting up to take drugs.
That might help.
Drugs make me cool. Drugs make me cool.
Anyway, oh man, speaking of things they should adapt for comics, Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue.
Hell yeah.
What's this? A joint? Anyway.
Oh my God. I would love that. You know, Tom Scioli needs to make an unofficial version of that as a comic.
Yes,
sort of
1,000 times yes.
I'd be so down
I'd be so into that.
But you know what else I'm down for? Picard's Academy.
You know, I never look at the Star Wars comics, and I flipped through this comic book.
And?
Fine.
Verdict is fine.
I mean, I didn't understand it, but I thought it was fine.
In this story...
Yes.
Darth Vader's get bad droids.
Yep.
In this story, Obi-Wan's get Kenobi'd.
Yes.
If you can't afford the Disney Channel, then
you can afford this.
You can do this instead.
You could base it for the price of 12 Disney Channel subscriptions. You could read the story in comic book form.
Yes, and you could enjoy the fact that it is the one series that everybody hated, even though I enjoyed it. Actually.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great.
I didn't think it was great, but
I feel like I heard a lot of people bitching and moaning about this one.
There were.
I mean, honestly, they're Star Wars people. Of course, they're bitching and moaning.
I know,
about
right?
everything.
I started watching Ahsoka, which also I've read people bitching about, and I thought it was pretty good.
That seems insane. She is like. That casting is so absolutely bonker doodles. Like, somebody found a woman, Rosario Dawson just looks perfect.
Yeah.
Like, she looks perfect.
I watched 4 episodes of it, and I just think it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally feels like Star Wars. I've never watched Clone Wars. I've never watched anything.
Right.
I'd never seen anything with the character whatsoever. So it was like coming into it completely cold. And I was like, ooh, she was trained under Anakin. That's neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
I don't know. It was fine, and it felt very much like Star Wars.
I felt the same way. Like, the number of people who were like, Book of Boba Fett, fuck that thing.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, this seemed like what I expected from Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And then there were episodes directed by Robert Rodriguez, and that didn't impress people. I'm like,
What?
Everybody shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the Robert Rodriguez episode of Mandalorian was one of the best ones.
Robert Rodriguez is the best one.
Yeah, that was
And
cool.
by one, I mean director. He is so fucking good, and I love everything he does.
I'm trying to plow through all of the Disney Channel stuff so that I can get rid of it.
I got rid of it before I did that. I regret it because I really do want to see Ahsoka.
Yeah,
but,
it was fun. So
I
far.
wanted to cancel all of my subscriptions around the time of the strike.
Yeah,
Just because I was like, I'm sick of these assholes.
I think I admire it, as I said at the time.
We got Enfield Gang Massacre #2.
It's cool. I need to get that first issue. I didn't even know. It's on newsprint. It's a westerns. People shoot. It's cool. I like it. I've never read Texas Blood, and I have no idea. I just like someone was like, "Oh, this is on newsprint." I was like, "Oh, I want to check it out," and then I did, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
What about Venom?
It's the most sensible issue of Venom that I have read in probably fucking 3 years. I did not hate this, even though it involved time travel and him going back in time and having a conversation with Ditko era Peter Parker.
Yep. I think it's super cool. I mean, I like the Doom stuff.
Although I do
More Doom is
Doom is fine. The one thing I didn't love about it was that like he's talking to Peter Parker, who is like I think it's before he's Spider-Man or maybe like right after he's Spider-Man. And I guess it is hinted that he might be Spider-Man at that point. And he's just like, I hated this guy Parker, and he ate people's brains. And once you taste brains, you never forget what it's like. And I'm like, I think that if Peter Parker like knew someone who ate people's brains, like at that point, it's just like, why would you offer that information up to canon Peter Parker? Like
I agree, and I feel like that
was a little meta.
I feel like that was
for
a
me.
reference to that fucking to Snowpiercer.
It was a reference to Venom wanting to eat people's brains.
Well, I think it was the I even know what the best part of a baby is, or whatever that fucking line is from Snowpiercer.
I've never seen it.
We got Waller versus Wildstorm,
Yep.
and it's fucking wild, man. It's
wild, man. It's off the chain.
Wild. You wild, man. You wild. All right. Here is my pick of the week. It was my favorite book. I can't help it. I loved Werewolf by Night.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was cool. I liked the color style of it.
I loved that. I liked the art. I liked the story. I just like seeing Elsa Bloodstone and Jack Russell hanging out together.
That's
and
another Disney Channel thing I haven't watched.
Oh my God, that's the only Disney Channel thing you need to watch ever. It's the greatest. Oh my God, that was such a good fucking thing. That was like, that changed me around on Disney pretty much, where I was like,
Nice.
oh, you're going to do this? That and WandaVision, I was like, oh my God, some really amazing people are in charge here.
Yeah, I liked, not loved WandaVision.
It took a long time to get into what it was doing, but I thought it was super amazing how big a swing they took. Like it wasn't boring. It wasn't, it wasn't rote. It
Totally.
wasn't, it was something new and exciting. And I thought that was cool.
I liked that it had Monica in it.
I liked Monica.
She's great.
I like their casting. I think that, what's her name? The Fantastic Four's nanny.
Agatha.
Yes, I thought the Agatha Harkness casting was so spot on.
Yep.
Perfecto.
Good.
We got this quarter comic that you can buy for $5. That would be Wonder Woman, War of the Gods.
Oh, yeah.
A comic book that you can find in quarter bins across the country.
It's a really, speaking of big swings, doing all 4 issues of War of the Gods as $3.99 books.
I just did it because I felt like I needed to.
Well, people like the old books, you know. I just like, I don't know. That's a weird one for me. I all 4 issues, like, just okay. I can understand doing number 1.
Yep, absolutely. The X-Men, The Hunt for Red October. It's a comic book, and guess what else is a comic book? That's right, X-Force.
I liked. I didn't like this issue as much, but X-Force is my favorite of the X-Men books currently.
This is actually
besides
fun.
New Mutants, which is a miniseries and is over now.
Yep, that is over. Is it? Yes.
There might be one more left, but I think it's over.
Yeah, it's pretty close to over if it's not over.
I think it's over.
Anyway, that's it. Those are the books. We did it. We did it nice and quick.
Yeah, we still have
nothing
power.
ran out of power.
Cool.
And I seem to have not accidentally shut off the recording or done anything dumb yet.
Is there any?
There's probably plenty of time for me to do something really stupid. There's so many trades. There's so many trades this week. Just check the website. Go to coastcitycomics.com. Check the website for all that stuff. We've probably talked about every series that would be in that, so you will be able to see that. We have all sorts of variants for all these comics and all that shit. So,
yep. What about new T-shirts or anything?
Ooh, I can't even remember what our last shirt is.
You've been doing that move.
My brain is totally scattered from the big move. We have rented a 40-foot box truck fucking 20 times this week. Damn. No, that's not true. It was more like a 20-foot box truck 4 times this week. But still, that's a lot.
That's a lot of moving. You're moving a lot of like clay paper comic books
and screen printing equipment. Ooh. Like big steel presses and things. It's like that shit is not light. My press is from the 70s, early 80s, so it is like it's built like a tank. The guy who sold it to me was like, I was looking for replacement parts, and he's like, we still carry all the replacement parts for this thing. Never sell that thing. They'll never be made this strong again. Like, no one's ever going to use this much steel because no one will transport something this heavy. The thing weighs like 450 pounds.
Damn.
So, yeah, they're like, no, we make these all out of aluminum now. And I was like, oh, okay. Cool. I can't afford to buy a new one, so your point is moot. But I appreciate you telling me that and not trying to sell me a new press.
Nice.
Anyway, that's it.
All right.
Thank you so much. Again, coastcitycomics.com. Follow us at Coast City at Coast City Comics on Instagram and at Dollar Binge for Bob over here.
Yep. And we have a Actually Comics Instagram as well.
And Actually Comics Instagram as well at Actually Comics. And yeah, that's it. And it looks like we're going to be putting on. We missed last year, something fucked up, and so Jackie couldn't show up for our screening of Blood Diner last year, but she will be here for October. So just before Halloween, we're going to do an October 28th screening of Blood Diner. And we'll figure out which theater we're going to be doing it at once they finally get back to me. Because boy, does the Nickelodeon not want to get back to me. I want to
honestly, getting anyone to get back to you about anything it can be really, and it's magnified. Like Andy Kaufman said, whatever is unknown is magnified. And when you're waiting for someone to fucking respond to you in an email, it seems like it could be 2-3 days, it could be a week or whatever. And for some people, that's like, that's not that big a deal. But when you're waiting for the response, it is an eternity. Oof. And I feel that pain very much for various other projects, which I may have coming up.
Very exciting.
Cool, exciting projects in my future.
Ooh, very exciting.
Yeah.
Rad Wraith 4 just got put. I just sent it off to I got all my edits done, and Taylor did all the lettering. So there is a finished version of Rad Wraith 4 that has been sent to the publisher.
I haven't even seen 3 yet.
It exists there is a world where a person could look at this. It's just not for sale yet, but it will be there when it's time. And also I used that amazing, fantastic, the Famous Monsters cover.
Yeah, that was so good.
It was going to be a shop exclusive, and then I was like, You know
That's
what?
a grabber.
It's such a good cover. I just want to do it. It's not like it's going to change anybody's mind because it's number 4. Maybe it'll change their mind to get number 1.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, so I bought that Texas Blood comic this week, number 2, like without having read number 1. Like it's when you see it, when you get the grabber gets you. Like you go back.
I really like my 4th issue a lot. Like
Nice.
I got finished and I was like, you know what?
Or maybe it sells a trade.
I was really worried after a while. I looked at it and I was like, oh man, there's so much fucking like, it feels like there's info dumps on like 2 pages. And I was like, oh God, is this going to really piss people off? And it's like, I'm hoping it doesn't, but it's just one of those things. I'm so close to it.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to overanalyze your own thing. But it also... I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I'm
Fair.
Sorry.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta go home.
It's that time where my brain melts.
Exactly.
Also, my back fucking hurts so bad.
Okay, yeah. I'll get out of here before you can never walk again.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Good night.
Bye.